Hey, I'm back. That's my old beater. And if you can't tell from the air compressor in the back, I'm about to work on this old beater. Now I gotta fix the transmission pan, change the gasket out, and see if it slows the leak down. It's been leaking quite a bit. I got the sun in my back, don't I? And then go from there. Hopefully it'll stop the leak. I can go to the other property and cut some grass. If not, I have to buy me a trailer or something. She's leaking too bad. I don't want to keep wasting gallons of this stuff in here. Anyway, later. Welcome to this old truck. No, really, I don't know. So this is the undercarriage of my old truck. I had to steal a muffler from a Ford Explorer I used to have because it was straight piped almost. Well, it wasn't straight pipe. There was no pipe here and a tailpipe hanging off the back. I had to quiet it down for the cities I'm in. But this is what my tranny pan looks like. My old pan ain't much better, but you know, I'm doing it step at a time. So I've gotten the back loose. And this is what you do, right? You pop the back bolts off, you got it on the ramps. You loosen these other up right there, just enough to give you a little gap. And then you pop that back loose and it's gonna drain down here into my thingamajiggy. But look at this thing. Sorry if it's spinning on you. This thing ain't nothing but a rust bucket. I mean, look at this crap. I don't know how long I'll keep it. I can get it long enough to where I can get it running where I want to get it running. But everything is like dirty, rusty. And it ain't got but 50,000 miles on it. Everything needs replacing. She runs and drives and stops and goes. Sounds good, purrs like a kitten. Motor's solid, man. It ain't nothing but a 318, but manual pump. So you got that junk right there, not electric. So if you don't drive it forever, like me, you have to prime it every time. Look at that pipe, man. I'm gonna straight pipe this sucker. I'm gonna sell it to some hillbilly for $1,500. I don't know. Says the hillbilly. This is the truck, 79 Dodge D100 with the more rare dual headlight on each side configuration. Only the 79s and some of the, I think 78s or whatever had it. It is technically a swept line, but it's not because it doesn't have that line that goes on the truck. It needs a new dashboard because it sat out in the yard at a dealership forever, and it was the dealership truck basically. She needs some work. She's only got 51,758 on her. It'll go up a little bit. It might go up like 100 miles a year. Okay. Seats, don't pay attention to the old boots and crap I got in here. The seat belts work. This one sticks a little bit. I don't remember about that one. The mirrors are all messed up. That one's got cracks in it, and this one's got cracks in it. This one actually moves. The other one, they tried to, the previous owner JB welded it or something like that on the other side. You know, standard. The unknown lights there hook on the top corner up there. The bed, ramps don't come with it. The bed is like this, all the way, not all the way across, but enough to where you can see it. It makes for good drainage, but it's old, man. It's old. The tailgate works. I've lubed it. Gonna have to be lubed again. It's got the easy removal of that piece. You can just lift it up and unhook it, and then it'll flop all the way down. It's coming apart right here from its secondary wall on both sides. Well, this side, that side, the right side is worse. This side is not nearly as bad. As you can see right there. As you can see right there. Right, it's got rust everywhere, but it's a solid truck. And right there, right, both sides. I mean, this side isn't really coming apart. This side is still together. This side is not. Taillights are intact, 100%. trailer wire hitch that somebody put on there as an afterthought. You got the shin killer with a chain attached that's not legal pretty much anywhere you go anymore because it's attached to the bumper. The newer ones, if DOT catches you hauling like that, you're against the law. Got the police hubcaps. These were originally white, not rust colored like they are now. I looked it up, although it does look kind of cool matching the truck. I got rust. It's not a whole bunch. Majority of this is dirt. I live on a dirt road. The gas tank has a leak. Gas tank has a leak in the front. You fill it up over half a tank to 3/4 of a tank, it starts pouring out. It needs new tires. It's got dry rot on pretty much all of them. Like I said, this is my yard truck. I drive it 10 miles down the road, cut some grass, drive 10 miles back. Not even that, it's like 5 miles down the road. She fires right up. Where you at? I do have a brand new battery in her. I did do the valve cover gaskets, plugs, wires, distributor cap, rotor button, air filter. She was out in the real rough when I got her the 2 vacuum lines that go up. Those of you that know these old vehicles, there's 2 lines that go up inside this air filter, and they were loose. I trimmed them down, shoved them back up in there. They were so dry rotted, they didn't look too dry rotted, but they were so old they split the minute I put them on there. So I bought 2 new hoses. Runs smooth. I'll start it up in a little while. New belt was put on with it. I got 2 new belts on there. This side I did the valve cover gaskets as well, of course, because you don't do just one side. Don't do just one side. I'm doing the tranny fluid and filter change. That's going to need a new transmission anyway. The radiator leaks. I haven't bothered trying to find that yet. Power steering pump leaks. Haven't bothered taking it off or rebuilding it yet. Got the standard 2-barrel carb, and paired with that 3-speed transmission, she is slow, and at 55 sucks gas almost as bad as a semi, right? So other than that, like I said, most of the stuff is surface rust. It could use some new things, but you know what? I don't care. It's my truck. I lubricated the heater thing for the heater core, heat dispenser, although back here that tube looks like it's about to go, so I might have to get another one of those too before I get rid of her, if I decide to get rid of her. If somebody offers the right price, it's gone. I don't need it. I'm actually looking for a trailer, and not a flat out trade on a cheap $500 trailer, because I don't need a cheap $500 trailer. But I showed the undercarriage a minute ago when I was doing a tranny filter. The only other issue I've seen so far is right down there where it meets up. Let me show you here. Excuse me if it's moving too much for you. So the fender piece, these are now plastic nowadays. This is like thin metal, and it's rusting out on the edges on both sides. It's like a cover, kind of like the plastic ones are on the new cars. Lighten the load, right? The other side, same thing, right? Bumper is inside of the bumper on the front. Focus, give me some focus. You don't want to focus. There it goes. I got too much sunlight on this side. So that's about it. Drain cock. I don't see any marks, but there's a little white. That might be where it's coming from. I haven't eyeballed the tar out of it yet. That's the bottom of the power steering pump. Looks like it might be coming out of right there, because it's coming. That wasn't me, that was the creeper I'm laying on. And then of course there's a lot of, let me spin it over, there's a lot of residual buildup over the years from everything. I'm cleaning off the pan. The pan is nasty. I'm hoping I can at least get the tranny to last a little bit longer. She's in decent shape. As far as runnability and drivability. But as you can see, bushings, everything needs to redo. Everything. Springs are all rusty. It's got that aforementioned, well, I didn't mention it before, but I've read it, Dodge lean. Even the brand new Dodges have a lean to them. Some of them you won't see, but it will happen very briefly after you buy it. I mean, this is going to be fun. If I do this myself, this is very relaxing for me to actually just go in here and tear this thing apart and redo it. But with me being on a road, I don't have time to do all this nonsense anymore. And I got this to actually try and work on it little by little and replace this, that, and the other. And even the pitman arm. I mean, it's amazing that this thing's still good, but, you know, everything works, guys. It's all, as you can see, the shocks got the bushings popping out of them, so it definitely needs new shocks and everything else. That's probably why it's got a slight lean to, well, that's the actually right side. Left side, same problem. So, you know, those of you that know cars, I did put a new fuel pump on there. Or the guy who had it on before me put a new fuel pump in there. I did put this new filter on here. Guys, whenever I fire it up, she starts right up. I'll show y'all a video of that in a minute. Alright, we're done with this. Tricks of the trade. So this is supposed to be put on, it's rubber. You don't put gasket sealant on here. This is the tranny pan, if you couldn't tell. And I'm using thread to tie these to keep them to where my holes are lined up, and hopefully I got enough on there. If not, I have to do another set. If you do this, you got to be real careful. You use fine thread, keep it to the outside, and then you can bust it loose whenever you get the nut in there, and be done with it. And then you ain't got to worry about having thread inside there, although you shouldn't worry about it anyway, because it shouldn't really do anything if you do it right and don't have a lot. I cleaned this up. I wasn't going to. I was going to leave it alone because, you know, they say if it's got metal shavings in it, leave it alone, don't clean it up. But in order to get this bottom part cleaned up so I could view all the leaks or anything like that, and the fact that the tranny's going out anyway, it's on its last leg because that was way too thick of dirt on there. Metal shavings on there for me to even think about it's going to survive. As long as it survives for me for a year or two, I don't care. I'm eventually going to put a something better than a 3-speed in here, even though she is all original. Tranny's already shot when I got it, I think. It's just barely working. Anyway, let me put this in here.
Hello again. I keep changing clothes and scenery in the background, don't I? Done with the truck. So I had put thread on there, right? Because that's one of the tricks you can do. It usually works on the cork gaskets, and you got to put gasket sealant on there, and it don't want to sit quite right. So it works really good on that. But I took the string off because once I put the first nut in there, it fit through the first bolt. It fit around the rubber. Made a nice seal around it. It just slides in and it locks the bolts into place. So I didn't have to worry about that with the rubber gasket, which worked out great for me. So I took all the string out. Didn't have to worry about any of that getting inside of there, even though I was ready for it. Once I put the first one in there, I had to take it back out. I'm like, these fit in there perfect. So my compressor died. It works, but it's not pressurizing the line. So I got to find out what's wrong with that as well. But that's a whole nother ball game later on down the line. I ain't sweating it right now. I got a secondary small one. I just ratcheted everything in there and said heck with it. The truck's done. It runs like a top. Transmission, even with all that in the bottom of the pan, there's it's as if there's nothing wrong with it. I did a ALD 4E or another one where we changed that out, and when we did that and we cleaned the pan completely out, it never ran well. It never drove properly. It ran fine, but the drivability of the transmission did not work properly anymore. But then the person that was driving it had wore it out pretty bad as well. So this one I babied, even though I knew it was slipping. I tried to baby it as much as I could. I'm ready to just drive it till it drops and not worry about it. So I had cleaned the pan completely out and cleaned the outside of the pan, repainted it, just because it was all rusty and I didn't want it to rust anymore and have to buy another pan yet. And it shifts smooth as all get out. Only had to put 4 quarts in there, which is kind of odd to me, but because you dump the whole thing, and usually you got to put a lot more than 4 quarts in there. So I put 4 quarts in there, and it didn't leak yesterday. I'm not driving it today. It was raining. I couldn't get back to the property to finish cutting the grass. I cut a good ways in, but I wasn't able to do everything I needed to do to it, unfortunately, because I forgot to bring my gas with me, my gas can. So I did enough to where the lawnmower was almost all gone and left it like that. So then I took it home and I was done with it. And I checked the fluid. It didn't leak a drop, not a lick. So hopefully I fixed my leak there. And if I did, then my next step is going to be fix the power steering leak and the antifreeze leak, so I can quit losing fluid that way. And then my next step is going to start on possibly. Well, those brakes look terrible, don't they? That thing still stops though. So I don't know. I'll fix little bits here and there depending on the cost and how much time I have. The only reason I did that is because I knew I had extra days. So that is all for this episode of This Old Truck. Anything you want to see done to it, don't expect it soon, but you can put a comment down there, and when I can get to it, I'll get to it, and I'll knock it out. But it's not going to be motor-wise, so don't recommend anything on the motor. I'll do other stuff. And it's not going to be the gas tank. It needs to be the gas tank because that one's costing me much money too, because with the hole that's in there, either that or somebody's been messing with my truck. Fuel evaporates way too quickly out of that vehicle. I think somebody's been messing with it though, but we'll find out soon enough because I hid the keys and weren't putting mileage on it. But whatever. Anyway, so that's it. That is all. This Old Truck, episode 1. Done. Y'all have a blessed day.